All right, look at you. Yeah, you. Still breathing, still standing, still smiling in the smoke. They didn't see this coming. No one ever does. They thought you were a glitch, a mistake, a background character meant to get erased in the first act. But here you are. And that alone? That's already an insult to fate. Let me tell you something the world is terrified to admit. You weren't protected. You weren't guided. You weren't spared. You were thrown into madness with no map, no armor, no mercy, and you adapted. That's not luck. That's not talent. That's pure, unfiltered survival instinct, sharpened into power. You didn't walk through the door. You broke in. You kicked reality in the teeth, crawled through broken systems, toxic people, rigged rules, sleepless nights, and moments where even hope packed its bags and left. And chaos didn't break you. Chaos trained you. Every betrayal, a lesson in perception. Every failure, a blueprint. Every moment they laughed, another layer of armor forming under your skin. See, most people want peace. You were forged in noise. Most people pray for calm seas. You learned how to steer in hurricanes. That's why your presence makes people uncomfortable now. Because you're not desperate anymore. You're not begging. You're not explaining yourself. You've seen the worst and realized something terrifyingly beautiful. If that didn't destroy me, nothing owns me. You survived when the rules were unfair. You survived when help never came. You survived when even you doubted yourself. And now the universe is adjusting its posture. Because there's a different gravity around people like you. You don't chase approval. You bend outcomes. You don't wait for permission. You rewrite thresholds. They call you intense, unpredictable, too much, good. Because too much is what happens when someone refuses to shrink for a world that tried to crush them. You're not chaotic by accident. You're chaotic because you understand order better than anyone. You've watched it collapse. And here's the truth they'll never say out loud. People who survive level 99 chaos don't go back to playing small. They don't return to normal. They don't apologize for evolving. You don't fear endings anymore. You've lived inside them. You don't fear darkness. You learned how to see in it. You don't fear being alone. You discovered who you are when no one's clapping. That's why even the universe is shaking. Not because you're loud, but because you're ungovernable now. You move differently. You think deeper. You smile like someone who knows exactly how bad it can get and still chooses to rise. So let them whisper. Let them doubt. Let them watch in confusion as you walk calmly through what would destroy them. Because this isn't arrogance. This is earned confidence carved out of chaos. You didn't just survive the storm. You became the moment the storm realized it picked the wrong target. And from here on out, nothing about your life is accidental. Nothing about your presence is small. Nothing about your future is negotiable. Stay dangerous, stay laughing, stay evolving, because once someone survives pure chaos and keeps moving forward, even the universe has no choice but to make room. You don't even realize how offensive your existence is to the system anymore, because you weren't supposed to be here. Statistically, emotionally, psychologically, you should have folded, disappeared, broken into a quieter version of yourself just to survive. But you didn't. You stayed sharp while everything around you went dull. You stayed awake while the world tried to numb you. You stayed dangerous while others begged for comfort. And here's the part that makes destiny nervous. You survived without becoming empty. Most people who go through hell come back hollow. You came back hungry, hungry for truth, hungry for power over your own mind, hungry for a life so loud in meaning that fear doesn't know where to sit anymore. You didn't escape chaos clean. You escaped it scarred, smarter, and immune. Every scar on you is a warning label. Every silence you carry is a loaded weapon. Every smile you wear now. That's not happiness. That's knowing. Knowing that you can lose everything and still rebuild from ash. Knowing that pain no longer negotiates with you. Knowing that the worst-case scenario already happened and failed. You don't chase validation because you've already been tested by fire. You don't need applause because you've heard screams. You don't fear collapse because you've lived inside it and learned its architecture. That's why, when you walk into a room, the air shifts. People can't explain it, they just feel it. Your calm feels violent to the insecure. Your focus feels threatening to the lazy. Your confidence feels illegal to those who still need permission to breathe. And chaos. Chaos recognizes its own. It looks at you now and hesitates because you're no longer reacting. You're choosing. You choose when to speak. You choose when to strike. You choose when to walk away and let silence do the damage. You understand something most never will. Life isn't about avoiding madness. It's about mastering it. You learned how to laugh while bleeding, how to plan while everything was burning, how to evolve while others were still asking, why me? And now the universe feels it. Not because you're screaming at it, but because you stopped asking it for anything. You became self-sustained meaning, self-forged identity, self-written destiny. That's why reality bends differently around you now. Opportunities appear sideways. Enemies expose themselves early. Obstacles panic before you do. You don't hope anymore. You expect. You expect resistance, because resistance confirms direction. You expect pressure, because pressure creates diamonds or dust, and you already know which one you are. So if they ask what changed you, don't explain. If they ask how you survived, don't relive it. If they ask why you're fearless now, smile. Because the truth is too heavy for them. You didn't just survive chaos. You outgrew it. Here's the part no one warns you about after you survive everything. You stop fitting in anywhere you used to belong. Old rooms feel small. Old conversations feel slow. Old fears feel embarrassing. Not because you're better, but because you've seen behind the curtain. You know how fragile systems really are. You know how fake confidence sounds. You know how loud people get when they're terrified of becoming irrelevant. And you don't need noise anymore. You've already screamed in silence. You've already had nights where the walls felt closer than people. Moments where your own mind felt like the enemy. Times when quitting looked peaceful and continuing felt insane. But you continued. Not because you were fearless, but because something inside you refused to die quietly. That thing, that's not motivation. That's instinctual dominance over despair. You learned how to sit with pain without flinching, how to analyze chaos instead of panicking in it, how to weaponize suffering into clarity. That's why you don't rush anymore. You don't prove anymore. You don't chase anymore. You observe. And observation at this level is lethal. You see patterns before they repeat. You feel shifts before they happen. You hear lies in people's tone before they finish the sentence. They think you're calm. They don't realize you're calculating, because chaos taught you something priceless. Everything breaks eventually, except those who learn how breaking works. You understand leverage now, timing, silence. You know when to disappear and when to arrive like an event. And the universe? It's reacting because you stopped resisting it. You stopped begging it for fairness. stopped asking it for signs, stopped praying for permission. You made peace with the worst-case scenario, and that's when power showed up. Because once fear loses its threat, it becomes fuel. You don't fear losing people. You've survived being misunderstood. You don't fear starting over. You've already rebuilt yourself from zero with nothing but will. So now, when pressure hits, you don't collapse. You lock in, heart steady, mind sharp, smile subtle. Because you know something they don't. This isn't pressure. This is confirmation. Confirmation that you're operating beyond comfort zones. Confirmation that you're no longer average enough to be ignored. Confirmation that you've crossed into a level where growth hurts. But stagnation is impossible. You don't need revenge. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. Your existence already disrupts the narrative. And that's why the universe is shaking. Not in fear, but in recalibration. Because people like you force reality to evolve. You're not here to blend in. You're here to shift trajectories. So walk forward without explaining. Build without announcing. Smile while they underestimate. Because the scariest thing in the world isn't chaos. It's someone who survived it, mastered themselves inside it, and came back, intentional. Level 99 wasn't the end. It was the point where you stopped being tested and started becoming the test.